Well, welcome back. And if you're back, it's because you want to find out how I fix this mess. And yes, I was very disappointed to find out that the leg came right off, and I'll show you in just a moment why that leg came off. And it's not broken, but it's definitely manufactured very, very poorly. Same thing with the arms. They're not broken. They're just not properly designed or fabricated to be able to hold up. Now, as for the leg, if you do realize that there is a peg system for these hip joints, look at this. It's deformed. It didn't, the injection molding didn't take well on this particular one. And I bet you this is not the only piece it happened to. So for it to work properly, it's got to be round all the way through, as you see on the end of these pegs. This one is not. No matter what we do, it's not going to function. We've got to replace it. Now I've replaced it with the one that you saw earlier. So I just got to remove those pegs off of there, those hinges, so that I can slide on the legs. And it's the exact fit for these trunks. And they did a great job on the belt, by the way. There's no need to do anything to that belt. Now, getting back to the legs, I'm going to swap them out so you see how well it fits and what an easy fix that was. But if you don't have extra parts, it's going to be hard to do because you're not going to be able to fix that piece of plastic. Here's the fix. The legs are on nice and tight and they will hold a pose. These are not coming off. And I'm so glad I had that extra piece. But what about the arms? The arms really weren't holding up. And it's really soft plastic. I'm surprised that the peg that they inserted here wasn't, well, tight enough to hold the actual posing. So the quickest and easiest way to solve this is to build a layer on the exterior, on the very, very rim with, well, super glue. And now this is a gel, so it will stay where you put it. But you do have to let it dry. Even if you use that solvent that hardens it quickly or makes it set quickly, you still have to wait for it to truly harden over a few hours. That way, when you insert it, it doesn't come off of that edge. And you'll have to repeat the same for both arms. Now, if it does not work, try it again. You may just have to build up the layer. And I'll show you in just a moment what that looks like. However, I'm sure that this is not the only figure that it happened to. And if you're watching this video, it's probably because it did happen to the figure that you purchased. How unfortunate that we had to, well, not just wait, but we actually got this really quick, but it was defective. Anyway, this is what it looks like fully assembled with a cape. So I know the question is going to come up, how did you install the cape? Let me show you. Let's take off this grapnel gun and let's get right into the actual cape. We're not going to remove the head, there's no need to, but oh, look at this. I'll have to build up a layer on that arm again. Well, it just happens. It's something you got to deal with later. So let's remove the arms, makes it a little bit easier. What I'm going to show you, I'm going to rip off now the chest. And that chest plate is just like the one from the Pattinson Batman. You can actually pull it out and then remove the cape or reinstall another cape. And I've already glued this on, so it just takes a little bit of pressure. And there it is, just like any of the other emblems. There is a gap that is holding that chest plate. Now, this particular one, I did notch into the actual chest to be able to fit the thickness of the fabric. This is pleather, but once you sew it and you bring it up to an end, it does become thicker. Now, yeah, it's a mess, but once you cover it all up with the cape and the emblem, it looks really, really clean. And I did notch it, as I said, on both sides. Now, that was a pleather cape. I'm going to replace it now with a cloth cape because in the movie, he had memory cloth for a cape. He didn't have leather. And I've made it a larger cape. The pleather cape was actually small, just like the plastic cape. It's nice to have a plastic one, or the pleather one, I should say, because it's small, like the plastic one, so it's easy to manage. This has now 4 wires. It is it's a synthetic material. It's not cotton, but it does fray really easy. So on those scallops that does not have a wire, the best way to protect that is to have maybe a edge of Mod Podge on the edge, or if you've got your sealant, I'm using the Liquitex, I put in an edge of that sealant all the way along the edge of the scallops, let it dry, and then trimmed it down. It turns and hardens like paper, so it's easy to cut and trim and it won't fray again. Now, as far as putting the cape in here, you just have to remember to get the folds correctly on both sides so that they match, and introduce it into that crevice that you cut out, and then glue it back in with the chest plate. Obviously, you'll have to add glue to the chest plate. And then clamp it down, let it dry for 4 hours, and you've got yourself a whole new Batman. That's pretty much it. If you want to review some of the other episodes that I've shown how to make a cape, pretty much the same steps. It's just that this one happens to be a different Batman. But the nice thing is the easy installation. You don't have to drill anything. You don't have to glue anything awkwardly. You just have to remove the chest plate, cut out those notches, and set the cape into place, and then clamp it down, and you're set to go. So I'm going to leave you with some video. I hope you like the actual video that I've just shown you. It's a quick fix, doesn't take that long. It's just annoying, and of course, it's time consuming. However, please like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget that I do have my eBay store, and I've got a few other things I'm getting rid of. That's why I fund this channel. And I do have my Mercari account, getting rid of some fodder. And of course, if you need something from there, that's the time to get it. Now is the time to get it. Most items are only $5, and I'm really not out to get anybody on money. I just want to get rid of stuff and fund this channel. Enjoy the rest of the video. We'll see you next time.